What's up everybody? We are Diana and Phil. Diana's from the United States and I'm from Germany, and in today's video we're going to talk about German breakfast culture and we're going to show you what a typical German breakfast looks like. Have you ever wondered what Germans typically eat to start their day? 47% of Germans consider breakfast the most important meal of the day, and around 93% eat breakfast daily. For many, it's all about fresh Brötchen, cheese, cold cuts or muesli, and 66% of them cannot function without their morning coffee. However, only 16% of Germans eat breakfast at home during the work week. Every third person eats while commuting to work, and half of all Germans have breakfast either at work, school or college. So, first, we are going to check out some of the convenience options out there before we head back in for a typical breakfast at home later on. So what a lot of Germans do, traditionally, they go and get their fresh bread rolls from the bakery. Apparently that is deeply ingrained in the German culture. This bakery culture, obviously very famous, and people go out even in the morning to get fresh bread rolls and bread from the bakery before their breakfast. To us, that sounds like a crazy idea because we're not morning people, or at least I am not. But that's what we're doing right now. We're going to the bakery and grabbing some traditional stuff, German bakery stuff.
Let's do one of those things. Hallo.
Morgen. Wir hätten gerne 2 normale Brötchen, ich sehe sie gerade nicht. Ja genau, von dem. Ja, eins von den Dinkel-Vollkornbroten bitte. Dann hätte ich gerne so ein heißes Panini, das in der Mitte bitte. Ja, alles zum Mitnehmen.
Und dann auch ein Schokobrötchen-Croissant-Ding.
Genau.
Wie heißt
Das hier oder das?
Hier.
Das hier unten, genau.
Dalmatiner.
Dalmatiner, genau. Dalmatian. That's enough, right?
Ja, das Ding ist
Das wär's.
Ja.
11,38.
Mit Karte bitte. Dankeschön. Schönen Tag. Ciao. So what a lot of Germans do who go to work and they don't have much time in the morning, they grab some of the ready-to-eat stuff from the bakery and either bring it to work or, I don't know, eat it in the car or something, and that's what we're gonna do first. Usually people have to be at the office at like 9 the latest, a lot of people even earlier, between 7 and 8, and most Germans statistically apparently eat breakfast between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m., which is super early. So a lot of people, for convenience, grab some of this stuff, and we got 2 things to choose from.
We have a sweet and savory option. I got a Schokobrötchen. It's this chocolate chips inside of a nice little bread thing.
Yeah, and it's basically this milky bread that has chocolate pieces in it.
Yeah.
And it's a very popular sweet option, I think, especially with children.
Yeah, it's very common throughout Germany. You'll often see it. So let's give this one a try. Mwah.
You can just flatten that with your hand.
Yeah, it's very airy. It's not overly sweet, but the chocolate chunks do make it sweeter, which I like. And I'm often not really a sweet person for breakfast. I always like my sweets later in the day. But if you are, this is pretty good.
Yeah, this is one of the options. Obviously, there's more stuff. There's from Quarkecken, different kinds of cake.
There's like an Erdbeerblende, which is like this strawberry pastry that looks so good.
Yeah, but let me know, dude, as a German, this stuff brings me right back to my childhood. I feel like this is what every kid craved, and they also sell them in the supermarket, but yeah. And every bakery has savory sandwiches like this. They have a variety. There's different types. There's vegetarian ones with cheese, bacon, obviously also very popular. Ham and cheese, I should say.
There's some egg ones.
Yeah, and I feel like the bakery is stepping up their game for real food a little bit, because there's also like fried chicken sandwiches nowadays. Anyways, I got this tomato mozzarella one on a nice Italian-looking bread roll with a lot of oregano. Dude, it smells so good. They heated it up. This was piping hot, but let me see for a second.
Yeah, they heated this up and it was piping hot and double bagged because of the heat. I smell the oregano. Looks pretty good.
Oh, my hand, dude, oregano everywhere. There's also lettuce, shredded lettuce on there. There is pesto, green pesto, which gives this a very nice flavor. And this is hearty. I think this works at a breakfast item if you like the more hearty breakfast.
But that's a solid lunch item too.
That could be a lunch item as well.
Yeah. That's so good. Dang. Yeah, I don't know what you're eating. This one's mine.
Yeah, I think definitely hearty breakfast type. Let us know what you are. Do you prefer a sweet breakfast thing or a hearty breakfast item? But now we're gonna take the rest of our bread rolls bread go home, like a lot of Germans do, and have a proper breakfast at home.
And before we continue to the home breakfast part of this video, we wanted to give a shout out to this video's sponsor, Lingoda. Lingoda is a great way to learn a language online with live interactive classes. They offer multiple languages, and I've personally taken many of their German classes. The real-life language lessons in Lingoda classes have helped give me the confidence to speak German here at our local bakeries in Germany.
Morgen!
Hallo, bitteschön.
Haben Sie heute Erdbeerkuchen?
Nein, heute leider nicht.
Oh, okay. Dann hätte ich gerne 2 Stück Apfelkuchen, bitte.
Sonst noch etwas?
Nein, das wär's.
Bezahlen Sie bar oder mit Karte?
Mit Karte, bitte. Danke. Tschüssi.
Wiedersehen.
With my busy schedule, it's very convenient to book classes with Lingoda. There are classes available 24/7, and I can see on their website if there's a class available when I'm free. It's very flexible, and I've even taken classes when we're traveling around the world. So whether you want to learn German to order at a local bakery or communicate on a more advanced working level, Lingoda is a great way to learn a language. Use our link in the description and our code DeannaPhil2025 for a discount when signing up. Thank you, Lingoda, and happy language learning.
So carrying our white bread rolls and our German bread back home for breakfast reminds me that a lot of people do that even on a daily basis. When I grew up, my dad always went out at least on the weekends every morning, very early riser at like 7, and drove over actually to another village and grabbed like 10 white bread rolls. And I think back in the day, there were like 7 cents per bread roll or something. And a lot of people still do that, probably less during the week, but on the weekends definitely. It's a big part of German culture just to get your fresh bread rolls or bread rolls from the bakery and carrying them home. So I don't know, I guess it's also a good reason to get up and move and get some fresh air the first thing in the morning, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. It's not noon, no, 7 a.m.
These convenience options are great for the common 9-to-5 workday, but on weekends, breakfast at home is of more importance, takes longer, and also serves as a valued conversation hub for families. And this is what it looks like.
Look at that, how hot that is. And there we have it. This is a good selection of what a typical German breakfast still looks like nowadays. And as you can tell by our selection and by this lovely plate, if you have a look here, bread and bread rolls and some type of German bread is still king for breakfast. Most Germans consume this, and I read an interesting statistic saying only 7% of the Germans skip breakfast. So 93% eat breakfast regularly on a daily basis. We are not part of the 93%, we are part of the 7%. That's skip it.
Yes. Aber heute frühstücken wir.
Yes, today we're having breakfast. So we have some standard white bread rolls, the ones we brought back from the bakery earlier. They look like that, and they're cold and they're very airy and soft. And then we have this nice dinkel seed bread, which we cut a couple of slices off. But also a common way is that people get these bags of bread rolls from the bakery and they put it in the oven and bake it at home. We like to do that because it comes out warm and fresh, and to be honest, they're pretty good as well. Also the drink of choice, I think it's every country, of course, coffee.
Obviously, this is way more than the average German eats for breakfast, but we wanted to show a selection of things that is very typical in Germany and some of the stuff that I've never heard of, because in the US, the average breakfast is like cereal and oatmeal, and then like warm breakfast is like eggs, pancake, and stuff like that.
Bacon, right?
Yeah.
When I hear America, I think bacon.
I would like to try the pretzel stick with cheese and cucumber on it. I feel like this is pretty standard. You'll find this at a lot of German bakeries, and then people make this at home a lot too, right?
And while you're doing that, I'm going to show you a life hack, a breakfast hack, how to peel an egg in a very cool way, and I hope it works. So what you want to do, you only crack each end a little bit, like so. And then on the thinner end of the egg, you just peel a tiny bit, like a little hole, not too big, that is already enough. And then on the thicker end, we peel a little bit more, like so. And then if the egg is fresh, you can just blow in the smaller hole and it should come out the bigger hole. So let's see if it works. Boom! There we have it, life hack. And here's the shell, came out nicely. But I'm gonna go with this stuff here. Look at these two variations, some nice pork meat on there. This is Schwartenwurst, rind sausage.
Schwartenwurst is this meat that comes in a can and it kind of has this layer of fat along with like this gelatin thing. And not all Schwartenwurst is made equal. Every time we go back to like central Germany, we get this one butcher's specific one. And I don't know, it's interesting in Germany how like there's so many butchers and there's so many variations.
So in the countryside is where the good sausage is.
It comes in this can and it kind of looks like dog food, but not gonna lie, it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, and this one is like a Zwiebel-Mettwurst, which is like a Met variation, and it's kind of raw. I don't know if it's smoked or something. We don't have raw Met here, but I feel like, I don't know if I can say that in the villages, the countryside, and the older generation, it is very common that even for breakfast, like real men, you know, I'm gonna have this stuff, fatty sausage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can see why. What is very common also is some type of ham. This is the typical Black Forest ham that we have in Germany. It's a cut and has this nice flat layer. And back to my childhood, we often have these very cheap packages of sausages, like the Mortadella. This one is chicken. This one is just some salami, and it's the round package, and I think every German knows this, but this brings me right back to childhood.
Can I put these together and make a ham and cheese
Why?
sandwich?
Try it first by itself, and then you can. That's so American every time. Cheese, ham, she sees it, it needs to go together.
Should go together. I feel like there's too little on each one. There needs to be more. Load it up, make it a sandwich. Look at that. Now we're talking.
That's rich people stuff, man. In Germany, I grew up, all you get, not even a pickle. The pickle's fancy. I got this.
You just get butter and meat.
This is what little Philip went to school with every day.
Oh, cute.
Like white bread and meat. Talking of white bread, very common is the cheap toast bread.
Yeah, they call it Toastbrot here in Germany. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, Toastbrot. And then Scheiblettenkäse. Scheiblettenkäse is what we called this. And now, since I met Diana, we call this American cheese, and it's this pressed cheese.
That's American cheese, right?
Yeah, single-handedly packed. And that was also very common, and I don't know, there has to be something in there. But as a kid, you always want that.
Really?
Yeah.
That looks like a really sad grilled cheese. I want to like put another thing and like grill it, make it nice and gooey. So Phil's mom will have this every morning. She will have a Brötchen and something sweet. So she always goes for the jam.
Yes.
There's butter and then a little bit of jam on top. This one's strawberry, and this is not bad. I feel like if you're into the sweet stuff, this is a pretty decent breakfast thing.
I just wonder how many people use the cream cheese substitute instead of butter, actually.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried that, I really highly recommend you try that, because it just gives everything a bit of a fresher taste. Another very common thing, obviously, the egg. We cut one open, which is kind of hard-boiled, cut it and sliced it up and put it on this nice pretzel stick, sprinkled a little bit of salt on top of that, and it looks very nice, like a nice little boat. And while you do that, I'm gonna show you what Germans also do.
You do it with a spoon, not a knife, right?
I don't remember how they open
Yeah,
it, but they behead the egg. Something like...
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you open the egg up and then they scoop it out.
You're German.
I never done this. I remember my uncle doing that and thinking, it's the weirdest thing. What is he doing?
But your mom has so many of these little egg cups that the Germans eat out of.
Yeah, it's an egg stand.
I'm so full already. We don't eat breakfast. This is way too much. I want to put all of this together. The ham, the cheese, and the egg. Sounds good, right?
Sounds pretty good, yeah. It's true. We have another weird variation. This is some herring, fish in a red beet cream sauce-ish.
Beetroots.
Yeah, with beetroots and apple slices. And people also have fish for breakfast. It's not that common though. Traditionally, it's more of the cheese and the salami slices.
Your dad always had something like this because he really loves this like fish and the fish flavor. Yeah, that's not my thing, but I feel like you often get that every time.
Tastes like Hamburg to me.
Yeah. Northern Germany stuff.
Yeah, I like the salty fish thing, but for breakfast, I don't know. Let me know if you are having fish stuff, like salty fish for breakfast a lot.
Yeah. So while there is a lot of like bread things in Germany, there is like cereal here as well. And there is oatmeal, which I think is also a common breakfast. But I think the second most common thing that's not bread is muesli, which is like this granola cereal mixture with nuts and stuff. And then you pour milk into it, or you can eat it with yogurt, and that's breakfast. Plenty, 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 plenty. Yo, Junge!
That's nothing.
What
Also,
is
we
this?
earlier put the milk first and put the cereal in. I think that's the way to go, right? That's how most people do it.
Are you a psychopath? No milk first.
Yeah. One thing that I think is coming that we don't have is orange juice. A lot of people had orange juice. I don't know if it's still popular nowadays. I just always found it a weird mixture. You drink coffee, you drink orange juice, and you eat milk with your cereal. That sounds wrong. Kids always wanted cereal and cornflakes and stuff. We had a sugar dispenser on the table for breakfast, and we put sugar on the cereal. Yeah. So what would you say for you? Is there anything weird?
I think the strangest things for the average American is probably the fish mixture thing.
That maybe the rawish meat?
Oh, the raw meat as well. I'm so used to it. I've lived in Germany too long. This raw meat.
We haven't touched this nice Leberwurst Brötchen, liver sausage. You give a bite quickly.
I'm so full.
It's your favorite, right? What kind of bite is that? Tiny. Well, that's a bite.
Tastes like wurst. I think that's a little too much meat in the morning for me. I'm the kind of gal that, you know, I like my meat in the afternoon.
Also, I believe a lot of what people eat for breakfast is not always the same thing. It also differs in location, socio-economic groups. But we also found that people go and want to eat healthier nowadays. Like the censuses show that people make more of a conscious effort to eat healthier stuff. Some people will probably add some fruit here, which we don't have. We have this nice little bouquet of tomatoes, which you can eat on the side. But the vast majority still eats breakfast, still think breakfast is one of the, if not the most important meal of the day. We still hear that. We have this saying in Germany, Frühstück ist die wichtigste Mahlzeit des Tages, which means breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
We have that in the US too.
But yeah, we like to skip it.
Let us know if you eat breakfast at home and what you eat for breakfast, because I'd be curious, like around the world, what do you eat for breakfast and where are you from?
Yeah, and is this what you expected, or did you expect anything else?
Yeah. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Erst Kaffee, then Konfetti. Wie süß! Get ready.
And a special thank you to Lauren Jared, Roger Lübke, Robin, and Parker Dobke. You guys are absolute legends. Vielen Dank.